Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead is undoubtedly one of the best zombie films of the 21st century. Let's get into it. This film stars Dave Bautista as Scott Ward, a down on his luck soldier who's been hired to sneak into a quarantined Las Vegas after a zombie outbreak to hack into a vault and collect $50 million, all while the threat of a nuclear bomb strike looms large over him and his crew. I'm going to be upfront. This is my favorite zombie movie since the joint 2004 releases of Shaun of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, the latter of which was also directed by Zack Snyder. I really have to commend Netflix too for believing in this story and allowing Zack pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants, and it shows through the cinematography and the direction. There's the slow motion effects. Just about every time a character is on screen for an exterior shot, the background is like completely out of focus. And of course, it's a long movie, sitting at 2.5 hours. But don't worry, it's not quite on the Justice League's level where things, start to drag. I thought this film was actually perfectly paced. I never got bored watching this, and there's actually a lot to like in this movie. The cast is diverse with, for the most part, interesting and unique enough characters. Some are really easy to hate, some are funny, and even for the ones who don't make it, yes, some people don't make it in a zombie movie, they don't go out at least without a memorable death. The characters, though, who easily stood out the most is the pairing of these two men right here. Anytime they were on screen together, it was just complete entertainment. I could honestly watch an entire film just about these two. So hats off to two excellent performances from Omari Hardwick and Matthias Schweifer. I'm probably mispronouncing that name, so I apologize. But of course, the main star here is Dave Bautista, and I really am impressed with just how far he's come. I remember seeing his earliest work, like Wrong Side of Town back in 2010, and just thinking how cool it was then that he's even in a movie, to now as a leading man, I totally got behind his character, and he's incredibly believable in all the action scenes, but also in the little moments where he just gets to show off his real acting ability. So yeah, he's great as our protagonist. I'm really happy for Dave Bautista. And the humans, though, they're not the only characters in this movie. I was absolutely on board with the hierarchy of zombies here. You have your common zombies who just sort of walk and are boring, kind of like, Walking Dead zombies. Then you have the alpha zombies with incredible power and speed. And then you have like a king and queen zombie who just show signs of intellect and command an army of the dead with like armor and capes and undead tigers, and they ride undead horses. I mean, it really is nice to see the zombie subgenre get the blockbuster treatment that it got with Army of the Dead, because this movie had, I believe, a $90 million budget. I mean, that does not happen for zombie movies, folks. And with great villains who are treated like a real threat and easy to like but skilled characters, you have yourself an action-packed, popcorn-eating thrill ride. And speaking of thrills, this movie has them in bunches. There's room for quiet horror scenes where someone has to navigate through a crowded room of hibernating zombies, where the intensity gets to build and build as they slowly try to maneuver their way without making a sound and without waking them up. And then there's heart-pounding action set pieces that are executed in unique and inventive ways. I loved every moment the crew had to either sneak past or fight through a horde of zombies. The stunt choreography is magnificent as well, and Zack shoots in a way where you get some really wild shots that really elevate the level of tension in a fight for survival. And everything inside the casino, that you see bits and pieces of it in the trailer, but like Dave Bautista, running on top of different playing boards while he's shooting his way through zombies. I mean, wow. I mean, chef's kiss in terms of the way, beautiful cinematography. It's a very pretty film. But my only complaint with this film actually would be that at 2 hours and 30 minutes, I would have liked to have learned just a little bit more about some of our characters. And I didn't quite dig the ending. Without giving away spoilers, all I'll say is I understand the main idea that Snyder is trying to go for and tell us, but I mean, it's very obvious too with Elvis Presley's suspicious minds playing at pivotal points in the movie, but also Omari's character just flat out tells us what the movie is about, and it just didn't really land with me. Uh, you know, but overall, I'd still highly recommend you watch this. If your city is playing this in theaters, I'd highly advise you to watch it on the big screen because, again, the direction and cinematography is absolutely stunning. So, yeah. Have you seen Army of the Dead? Also, what's your favorite zombie movie of all time? I'm actually really curious on what you guys are gonna have to say. But Until next time, this has been Millennium Movies, and if you want to stay up to date on all the latest in the world of movie and TV, well, you're already in the right place, and consider subscribing and sticking along with the channel, because I'd love to have you along for the ride. But until next time, this has been Millennium Movies, and I will see you all very soon.